Hey guys, welcome back to Get It Garage. My name is Mike. Today we're driving a Mustang Mach-E all-wheel drive. This is the 2021, so this is brand new. Not a lot of these out yet, and just wanted to go for a little drive in it, talk about it a little bit, talk about electric cars in general, see where the future's going here, because I am going to give you a little bit of a spoiler here. I am really impressed with this. We have been checking this out all day. As you can see the lights down there, I think that is reading my face to see exactly what my eyes are doing. We got a nice big huge center console. I'm really a fan of this. It's got a lot of cool technology in it. It's got cameras everywhere. It has lane assist and blind spot monitoring, regenerative braking. As you can see, it's got a panoramic moonroof. Pretty cool stuff. This is probably about comparable to the Tesla Model Y. The Model Y has actually got a little bit more performance than this does, but just barely. This is a dual motor electric, and it's got one motor in the front, one motor in the back, and it accelerates like nothing I've ever driven. I can't imagine some of these other electric cars that are, in the 2-second range, 0 to 60 times. Absolutely incredible. I really like this a lot. Unfortunately, this is just a loaner, so I don't get to keep it. I wish I did, because I really do enjoy driving it. So, like I said, this is about comparable to the Model Y, and it has 2 motors, and it goes 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, so 5 seconds, somewhere in that range. And you can feel every bit of it. It accelerates like a jet. Other ones, I can't even imagine, like I said, how much faster those really are. I've been researching electric cars since they became pretty popular, and right now they're in the single digits of sales of new cars in the US, so for around 5%, but I believe that's going to go up dramatically. Now, the one thing about this that I have noticed is, while I'm online researching this stuff, is a lot of people really don't like the Mustang Mach-E. I think it has to do with the fact that they've kind of rebranded the Mustang and put it into a crossover small SUV body. And honestly, it's not bad. I think the main reason that they've done this is to add the room for the battery, because the battery is underneath, and you can see here, I'll put in a little clip, you can see exactly what I'm talking about, where the battery is. You're sitting on it. It's absolutely right underneath you. With all that weight down low, this handles like it is on rails, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if this handles as well as, or even not better as, a gasoline Mustang. Some other thoughts here. Being this is a electric, a lot of people have range anxiety. We've had this for a day or two now, and I can see why that's a thing. Right now I have 153 miles of range left and 54% battery, and I'm not too worried about it, but at the same time, it's not like I can just go to a gas station and fill up. If you're looking at an electric car, I would definitely recommend having a house where you can fill this up at nighttime, charge it up rather, and you're going to be full in the morning. As far as going on road trips and things of the like, not something that I think I personally would do yet, just because of the charge time and because of a little bit of that range anxiety, where we're not sure if you're going to get to the next station. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen pictures of the Teslas charging up at electric generators and things like that. So not something that I would ever want to do. But as far as like around town, getting to work, groceries, things like that, in town driving, I think these would be great. I also think they would be really good for that, in the sense that a lot of towns, like if you think about the smog in LA and New York City, places like that, this would cut down on that quite a bit, as long as it's sustainably used, like wind power or solar power. It's going to cut down on any of that smog going into the atmosphere. Obviously, we still have some coal power plants and things of that nature, and that's not exactly green, but either way, still could keep a lot of smog out of the cities, which would be good for air quality for everybody that lives in those areas. I said that I love the electric car. I am absolutely converted. I think this is the way of all cars are going to be this way. I think it is superior to gasoline and diesel, as we have diesel trucks driving by me here on their Jake brake. I think that it's absolutely the best form of transportation. Electric is absolutely 100% superior to diesel and gasoline, in my opinion. And the reason that is multiple reasons, actually. Let me go over a couple of them here with you. First of all, there's no transmission. This is one gear, 100% driven to the wheels. There is a gear reduction, but it's not changing gears. So this is a direct drive, basically. Obviously not really, because there's a gear there, but with that in mind, there's no transmission. It's not like there's clutches or anything like that. And that, I think, is what is going to make these 100% more reliable. Automatic transmissions, in my opinion, are not and have not been the most reliable throughout the course of automotive history. I've always preferred manuals myself. While this is similar to driving an automatic because you're not shifting or anything like that, it's not necessary. Shifting gears will give you the increased torque in the lower gears and whatnot. You don't need that. This has the torque whenever you want it. It's always there. It doesn't matter how fast you're going. At least driving on the street up to 80 miles an hour, this thing has got it 100%. No shifting gears needed. Instant torque. So it's there as soon as you put your foot down. And I don't think that there's any gasoline car that's going to be able to compare with that. There's going to be that lag on every... I mean, if you ever see the Teslas racing gasoline cars, they do not match. That instant torque is just too good. Too good. There's no oil changes. You don't have an engine to worry about maintenance on. There's less moving parts. It's just going to last longer in that respect. There have been some of the initial Teslas that came out 10 years ago or whatever it was now, that are over 200,000 miles, and even the batteries are still good. They've lost some of their range and some of their capacity over 10 years. However, it's not as bad as they initially determined, and some of those are just pretty incredible, actually. So the other thing that really I think you can't really get from an electric car, I mean, if you've ever driven a turbo car or anything that is semi-quick, this is in a league of its own as far as fun. I mean, you're not going to get that gear changing. You're not going to get that interaction with a car that it once was, where you're switching gears and things like that. But this is just so much fun to drive. It handles great with the lower center of gravity, the batteries being down below the center of the wheels. That's really keeping this thing planted to the ground, and the batteries are heavy. This thing weighs 4,800 pounds, so it's no slouch. It's definitely heavy, but this thing accelerates so fast for being so heavy. As the technology progresses, I think these are going to be absolutely the best option out there right now. Gasoline is, you can get go hit a gas station every 10 minutes in a normal drive. I've driven by 2 of them just since I've been talking to you, and they're everywhere. But I don't know where to go and get this charged other than back to where we got it from. So I would definitely say that we have some obstacles to overcome with the electric, but you know, it's definitely one of those things that once we get there, I think nothing's going to be able to touch it. Some of the, I guess you could call them cons or negative things about electric cars are, you know, you got the range anxiety. The technology is progressing so fast that these are actually getting old quickly. I mean, we have the solid-state battery technology supposed to be coming out, which is going to make these a lot lighter, a lot faster to charge, and they're going to also be able to contain some more performance, from what I understand. I don't know how far out we are from the solid-state batteries, but those are, if you haven't heard, definitely check those out. A little research, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They are the new battery technology that's going to be, you know, after this lithium-ion and lithium polymer batteries that we have now. These are also such new technology that the batteries and the motors and everything that goes along with it is still quite expensive. It's not something that everybody can afford, and it's getting more. It's getting more affordable, but it's not there yet. This Mustang, brand new, is nearly $60,000. The Teslas are all in the same type of range. You know, the newer ones, some of the newer cars, there's the Nissan Leaf, which is a little bit less expensive, but I think you're still talking almost 40 grand for one of those. And they're the price is going to come down as more people buy them. Supply and demand, they're going to make more, and it's going to become more of an everyday thing. There's definitely going to be more of them, and it's going to bring the price down. There's Paris, California, 2 places that I know that are already planned to outlaw the sale, I believe it is, of new gasoline vehicles by 2030 or 2035, 2025. I forget the year exactly, but it is something that's going to happen. So, you know, keep an eye out for it. I think that we're on the verge of the internal combustion engine dying. I don't see how this is possible that it isn't going to take over. The main thing I think that could potentially stop this from taking over would be the cold weather performance of these batteries. I know in some colder climates they manage to get by just fine, but I have heard of some places where they're just not able to keep up with that in the cold. We had a pretty nasty storm that hit, even a winter storm this last winter that hit Texas, and a lot of people that live down there were having problems with their electric vehicles that they do have. So something to keep in mind, and hopefully the new battery technology and you know, just the fact that these problems are slowly going to be taken care of as we progress throughout the initial stages here of electric vehicles. I remember it's a small little story. I remember when I was a kid, I had an RC car, and it was a little tiny engine, a little small little thing, and it had glow plugs to get it started and everything. It was just a small little RC car, and it was quick. Don't get me wrong, it was quick. However, it has been replaced by electric ones, and all the electric cars that I've seen that are newer, the electric RC cars, are just better. You know, those little motors were not reliable. They were hard to get started, and they just weren't the ideal, especially for kids like that didn't know anything. These electric car RC cars, you plug in the batteries, as long as they're charged, it's going to work. And they go and they're fast. All the new Traxxas and all that stuff, I'm sure they still have the gasoline ones, but my point is that the technology surpassed the gasoline ones, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen with the daily drivers and everything. A lot of people, I think they just aren't familiar with it until you've driven one, until you've experienced it. These are here to stay. I'm not sure that they'll completely take over, but certainly it's going to give the internal combustion engines a run for their money. I'm going to give it a little juice. She moves, boys. This thing is quick. And it doesn't even really feel like you're going that fast. I'd really be interested in driving a Model X or a P100D or something like that to see how it compares, because this is about the equivalent, I think, of 350 horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque. Those are rounded numbers. I'm not 100% sure on the exact ones. But they are, this thing is still very fast and very fun to drive. Hey, my brother-in-law drove it. He loved it. My wife drove it. She loved it. It is an absolute blast. It's all-wheel drive, so we don't have to worry about, hitting any crowds or any telephone poles anytime soon. So we do have the Engage, Whisper, and Unbridled modes. Unbridled, you can tell. If you're on the highway and you change it to Unbridled, it will pick right up. You can hear the motors a little bit. It does have some options, so you can have a propulsion sound, but I just really was impressed with this, and I can't even say enough about how impressed I am with it completely. It is... There you go, you can hear the propulsion sound. Either way, guys, I really hope you liked the video. If you get a chance to drive one of these, absolutely check it out. If there's one for rent, or if you know somebody that has one, I don't care if it's a Ford, I don't care if it's a Tesla, whatever it is, an Audi e-tron, if it's anything at all like this, it's going to be an absolute blast to drive. And I think that if you're on the fence about electric cars at all, that driving one will set you straight, because in all reality, it is absolutely a blast to drive. Ooh. So much fun. Like I said, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Anything that you do will really help. And we will see you on the next one.